basically, these special committees haven't been meeting at LAUSD for like a year. It was also the Special Education Committee until public pressure changed that status. I would also really like the Parent Engagement Committee to start meeting. I have a lot of parents in my neighborhood who talk to me about LAUSD issues, who are interested in getting more involved, and they have a good relationship with Scott Schmerelson. This is like his committee. And they're wondering why in the age of Zoom that it hasn't been meeting, and they want it to meet because the other parent committees are appointed. They're not for like the general public. They're appointed by the school board. So what I would hope is that at a time that's more, taxing than ever in terms of children's educational achievement, that we would have a committee that engages parents meeting. But ultimately, unless the school board allows for it to meet, it's not going to. So this letter is to the Arts, Parks, Health, Education, and Neighborhoods Committee of the City Council, since they cover education issues, to basically tell them that we'd like to have it start meeting again. But it seems like there's a want for it and a need for it within our community. And so it would just go to the members of that education committee, and it's just asking them to start having the parent engagement committee again, because it doesn't serve the parents of our neighborhood when they're not having that the ability to have that engagement. And I know that there are a lot of parents who have concerns about the charter co-location at Shirley and want to have more of a voice on this issue. So it's very hyper locally relevant, but it also speaks to the bigger issue of hearing the voices of the people that, aren't appointed, essentially. So that's my ask.
So is this a letter stating that Scott is not having his meetings like he's supposed to, and this is to enforce that he has his meetings? Is that what you're saying?
No, Scott can't have the meetings because the school board has not allowed him to. He wants to have the meetings. I've talked to Tara Valdani in his office about this. They want to have the meetings and they're willing to do it. It's his committee. And it's not that he's not having them, it's that he has been not allowed to do it by the school board president.
Okay, I thought this was something negative against Scott because
No. Scott's wanted to do this, and they just finally allowed the special education committee, which is also Scott's thing. And I think he is excellent on special. I disagree with him on some things, but he is excellent on special education issues. They only just allowed the special education committee to meet again, and that was like a year without it, which is nuts to me because special education is like, especially in this environment, like so important that you're talking about those issues, because teaching like special education on Zoom or like in like limited like one-on-one capacity, but that one's finally meeting again, but parent engagement has not yet been allowed to meet. That's also Scott's committee. And given that, Scott's our school board member, and this is very hyper local with all the stuff that's going on in Shirley, this is just saying to AppHen to tell LAUSD board, hey, this committee should meet so that Reseda residents can talk about parent engagement issues in Reseda when it comes to schools. But Scott wants to have those committees meet.
Well, this is something that Scott wants, and we should vote for this for him.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him because that I feel a little strange about that. But when I have spoken to him in the past, he very strongly said that he wanted those committees to meet. And I had emailed Kelly about this, I think back in January, and we had a little bit of a back and forth by email, didn't really get anywhere. I waited, didn't see any movement on this. And so that's why I wrote the letter.